Greetings and welcome to NWealth Conversation hosted here on NWealth Money TV. My name is Japheth Otieno and we salute and appreciate your consistency in joining us to have and benefit from these great conversations that we have on this particular show. Now, we have been walking the journey of financial well-being and wealth creation, and we understand that wealth is created within a framework of a family, a society, a country, or the globe. Today, we are focusing on financial management at the family level because this is the SA unit. Now, to respond to all our questions, of course, as we are asking the big question, how best can families manage their finances? I'm joined by Kenon Bai. He is an expert in financial management and training. And Kenon, karibu sana.
Asante sana, Japheth. Great to be here.
Great. Maybe I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself in the best words that you choose.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Kenon Bai. My passion is to help people make more money, grow their money, and protect their money. That's what we wake up to do every morning. And that's what we put our energies on because we realize it's important for people to be able to manage their finances. I do that through a company called Manibu Biashara, and partnerships like this one are a good platform for us to continue spreading the message out there. The bottom line, how can people get to understand money? Really taught in schools, but this is the school.
This is the school, the practical world where we are responding to things practically. So, Kenon, the first and the very important question,
Yes.
there is the statement that money answers to all needs. What is the meaning of that very statement in a family setup?
So that's a good question, Japheth. Before I answer it, we split that into two because there's the financial needs and the non-financial needs. I believe in this forum, we are more talking about the financial needs. So we can agree that money answers to all needs in that sense. But looking at a normal family, definitely for you to advance as a family, you need the money. You will use that money for various reasons. I have seen clients whose families start to develop cracks when the money discussion starts to go south. So for sure, it responds to all needs because people they have their goals, they have their interests, they have their passions, they have their desires, and all this is facilitated using money. So yes, I'll agree, money answers all needs, at least financial needs in a family. It's important to have the cash flow coming in.
Answering to your interests and your passions.
Absolutely.
Very important. Now, a family is headed by man and a wife is the helpmate.
Yes.
In that particular sense, what
Yeah.
is their role in management of funds, more especially because the man comes in as a leader and the lady becomes a helpmate?
Okay. So the man is given the role of the vision. Okay, that's very important. And one role of a man in the family setting where man is concerned is the vision, trying to create a direction where the family is headed. Now, that does not mean the man must always earn more than the woman. And that's a discussion that can go very many angles. But the fact that they lead the direction, they have the vision really, they are making key decisions. And in that sense, obviously, the wife comes in to help a lot. I always like giving the analogy of a staircase. When climbing the stairs, the man can very easily see what the trophy is, and they can see what they need to do about getting there. But they may not notice the stairs are broken. The ladies, the women, the wives God has given us, they have that intuition to see as much as you want to get there, please watch out the stairs are broken. So that analogy shows you that both are important, but if you focus on the broken stairs, you'll never get to the trophy. Okay? Equally, if we ignore the stairs are broken, we'll crumble. So the man should be a vision bearer, but also looking out for help and listening more to the wife. God has given man the ability to process things in a certain way, especially when you're connected to God. There's a way you look at things and you can actually direct the direction the family takes. That's what I would say the role of a man is in this sense.
I like that. I know you've said you don't want to walk into the depth of the discussion around the man and being the provider. I posed a question.
Yes.
Is the man a primary provider in a family? If yes, then what happens if they don't have what to provide?
So yes, I believe the man is a primary provider, but look at the personal financial management space of a family. A family decides the kind of lifestyle they want to lead, what they want to live, the kind of schools the children go to. To that extent, the man takes the lead role. And even naturally, the man feels, you'll find most people, they just give, they find what? Peace, and they find satisfaction when their families are provided for. So in that sense, the man is the lead provider. To the question you've asked, you can start off with the man being the lead provider, but in the course of family, things change. Maybe the man loses the job. So what does that mean? He doesn't cease being the primary provider. It's just a temporary setback that probably at the time they'll need to rely on the income from the wife. It does not stop him from being the lead provider, because he wakes up every morning then trying to get an alternative so that they're back on the driving seat. I don't know if that makes sense, Japheth?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And so they are not, actually doomed.
No.
And maybe you want to speak to the wife whose husband is in that state. Being a man, how will you want your wife to treat you in that state?
It is a season that is difficult for any man. The man is wired to take the leadership. They are wired to actually lead even the provision. But at the time, I think what the woman should do, well, in my view, is just give him time. Encourage him. Give him a positive word. Even if whatever he's starting is very small, be his greatest cheerleader. Because the thing about the woman, then they get insecure. They get impatient. They want things here and now. So it's a matter of the woman saying that as long as your man is trying, just give him that extra word in the morning. That part in the evening at the back is what he needs to really move forward. And also have the honest conversation that it might be necessary for the family to scale down some things. So the woman comes in a very great way in that way. If you've been buying this kind of soap in the house, as little as soap, you might say you need to buy cheaper soap for now. So it's a support for the woman to walk with the man through that rough patch. That support, that encouragement, I think is what is very necessary for a man at that time.
And I like the topic you've brought in. I am tempted to ask you how families should manage financial crisis.
Transparency. It's important to see exactly things as they are, because no crisis is insurmountable. Every couple is able to go through every patch. But for me, I'd start with honesty, transparency, and also adjustments. Be free to make adjustments. So you had a vehicle, but for whatever reason, the vehicle is no longer there. So happily take your public means. There's nothing wrong in hopping into a matatu and making your way wherever you're going. So the thing is, don't be lost in social pressure. Don't be lost in living a lie. And when a family in a crisis looks at things as honestly as that, it's a matter of time. Because actually sometimes I've taken public means and I've ended up enjoying a lot. Because that's the time you stop, you're not driving, you're not worried about traffic, you're actually thinking about some things, reading a book, listening to a podcast. It is not all lost. So it's about looking at things very practically and having the patience to go through the patch.
Sure, you'll get out of it. And it gives you the peace of mind that is able to give you an environment that you're able to think.
True.
Because the pressure, again, makes it hard for you to think
True.
and come out of the hooks.
Yeah.
Now, while you were talking about the role of the husband and the wife in the financial management, you talked about the vision.
Okay.
So what are the key factors that a family should consider as they're setting their financial plans and the financial goals, the financial visions? What do they want to put down first?
So it's important for a family to have a budget. And as I said many times, many clients look at a budget as this thing that stops them from enjoying life. So somehow, sometimes people have a negative connotation or feeling about budget, but not necessarily. A budget is an honest look at how much money is coming into the family, how are you using that money, and in the best case scenario, how much is left over, because now that's about living within your means. Then maximize your inflows. God has given us talents, gifts, opportunities, networks, even like what you're doing today here. Maximize the places where you make your money to come to the family, because wealth is built when more money comes in. Then you're looking at building assets. What do I mean? It is creating avenues or putting your money in avenues which bring you more money. I say that you need to separate whether you're building assets or toys. A toy is a problem because it's probably a passion that you have, but really speaking, it's more taking money from you than giving you money. So focus on building assets, things that bring you income. And then lastly, eliminate your liabilities. Liabilities are things that you need to pay to people. It could be a bank, it could be a den you have somewhere, but it's about eliminating them because one, they have a cost. Every liability most probably comes with a cost. And secondly, it can impede your real growth. You thought you're moving forward, but this liability facing you, then it's slowing you down. So what did I say? Maximize your inflow, budget for it, spending habits, build assets, not toys, and eliminate your liabilities. That could be a basic plan, financial plan for a family. Of course, now there's the aspect around non-financial things, emotional things. Maybe we might talk about that in the next few moments.
Yes. Now, in the planning part of it, while you're talking, just something came to my mind. How do families balance between funds allocated for visions, that is for people outside, and people within? So I have a vision to do something to the world, but I also have ambitions for my family. How do I balance in the financial allocations?
So in terms of order, you definitely start with internal. Everywhere, the world over, the idea is solve your problems first, because that's what gives you the ammunition, the strength, and the energy to go for other things outside. So start with your internal. Now, while at internal, we need to watch out for excesses and wastages. We all have the right to enjoy our money, no problem with that. But to get that balance right, check that you're not spending a lot more on internal things, whereas you can be using those resources to help the world out there. So once you have your budget and you're clear what it's going to do, you have a reasonable life. Now, reasonable is a very wide term because it's very subjective. But after you've satisfied the internal, then look for opportunities to do the external. And again, for external, you may not do everything in the world. You probably might want to select a few things you want to get involved in, where you feel you have greatest impact in. Partner with people, partner with organizations, give your expertise, give your, even if it's pro bono, just build the world, not necessarily about money. You can give your time, you can give your resources, you can give your expertise, as it were. But start inside, complete that, then go outside in a strategic way, so to speak. Yeah.
Nice. Still using the word balance.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite words. The needs that are pressing right now, the interests and desires that are pressing right now, but I'm also futuristic. I'm looking for things that are coming.
Okay.
What is here, I'm seeing it's more bold than what is ahead.
Okay.
So in the financial allocation, how do I strike a balance between catering for tomorrow and not compromising my life today?
So there are a number of models out there. Maybe I'll just pick one. Most of them will be talking about the same thing at the end of the day. There's one 50, 30, 20. That's a common one, where 50% is for your needs, 30% is for your wants, 20% is for your savings and future. That's one model. So you make sure that at most 50% of your income satisfies your needs. What are needs? Food, clothing, shelter, health, education. That's it. Food, clothing, shelter, health, education. And in every sense of the word, if it's health, maybe you have an insurance cover, either from your employer or personal. You have a way to have your nutrition going well. You're taking care of your body. You're taking care of your mind. That's what health is. Education is empowerment. Okay, what are you investing in your family's future in terms of what they want to be? The other 30% goes into wants. What are these extras in life that you want to explore? All right? So yes, so you want to drive a slightly bigger car. But the fact that you had a car in the first place, that's a need met. The fact that you want to go to an extra bigger car, no problem, that goes into the wants. And then the 20% is investing into the future. But that also has a big influence depending on your age. Younger families have different options compared to older families. So I bring in another model called the age approach. I want you just to speak about those two models. The age approach says, take your age. Let's say you're 40 today. So 100 minus 40 is 60. 60 should be the maximum percentage that you allocate high-risk areas. Right? That's basically an age approach. So you notice if the older you are, the less the amount you're going to put into risk investments, because of course the investment platform there's a short-term, mid-term, and long-term. All right? So even as you do your math, you can use that kind of model that helps a family know how much should I put now and how much should I put into the future, depending on are they in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think it addresses the today and the tomorrow. I know you are a father.
Yes.
From what I see. In the financial management at a family level, to what extent do you involve your children? Or what would be your advice?
Okay. So the thing is, children are part and parcel of this family. So depending again on their age, for me, the way I personally do is I listen to the questions. The questions lead me to what they are ready to hear and know. So I had a discussion with my daughter, and she was asking me, how much did X cost? So in that case, how much is her school fees? You see, at that point, there's something she's asking. So I tell her. Then she asks me, how much did it cost to take this holiday? I tell her. Then she says, it's okay. Then I ask her, so why did you ask that? She said, I wanted to see where buying a PS can fall. She already has the price of a PS. She tells me it's X. So she's saying she's comparing a PS versus her school fees or a PS versus a holiday. I like that. So you see already that is a question that's inviting you to now know this is ready to be discussed. My older daughter, she would notice that we don't have money. And when we're going for lunch, she's very keen. And this happened yesterday, Japhet. I like talking as real as it is because it's about personal life.
Yes.
So she says, how much money do you have for lunch for us today? Okay.
What's the
so I
budget?
gave her a figure. Then she said, what if instead of eating here, we can eat here? This will save us half the cost. I liked that discussion. So you see, the questions that come invite you to involve them. Then they are stakeholders. They really, I think to some extent, they are probably more interested in the success of this family than the parents are. Because for them, this is their all.
Yes.
So parents, of course, you can see options here and there. If this fails, I can try this. But for them, what they're seeing is all there is. Their entire life is poured there. So it's important to involve them depending on their age, depending on the questions that come, and be honest with them. Of course, with wisdom. Okay, so it depends on what you want to tell them. How much you look at what you'll tell them will not crush them. Because then you're telling your child, look, we got auctioneers come to my office and they took everything we have and now we have nowhere to work from. That could be a reality. But the way you tell them can crush them. So again, that's what I'm saying. You have to apply some wisdom in how you put it across. Yeah.
What's your take on starting financial academies for young ones?
I am 100% sold to that, Japhet. Not only my philosophy, I am actually doing it. Right now, I'm focusing on educating people on how to manage their finances from whatever angle, including a forum like this one. So I am fully sold out for it. In fact, maybe from a commercial perspective, I have a commercial entity that does all that. I'm happy to share with the viewers the contacts, but it's something I believe in. Yes, it's going to pay my rent, But more than that, I always imagine, what if all this experience I've had in the financial world, and I can see how organizations plan their figures and how they make the decisions, how they forecast. It is such a serious thing. Everyone is waiting for these numbers. What if this can be brought to individuals at whatever level? In fact, that is my vision, that we're able to educate people financially. Sometimes it's not taught in schools, and if it is, not as practically as, in my view, as should be in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, I like that. Differences and conflict management. I know we talked about it at the introduction level.
Yeah.
Married people are coming together from different worlds, different cultures, different upbringing. They have different personalities and money behaviors and money philosophies. I mean, what they believe about money is different. So how do they come to a consensus and the commonality of ground in terms of the financial management as a family?
So let's agree, money is a very emotive issue. It's very emotive. So the question you ask is very relevant. But some of the places to start, and I always go back to it, is honesty and transparency. Sometimes there's pressure for people not to say everything. But dealing with a few clients, I understand why. Because everyone has a money story. Everyone has a money story. So the question is, how well do you understand your story? How clearly have you told yourself that story? I have a couple clients, and one of the people in the relationship, they've never known lacking. They've never understood that you can lack something. Then they got married to someone who has actually had to endure through. Now, these are a married couple, and when they come in, you help them see their money story. The moment you see things from the other person's perspective, conflicts reduce. The moment you see things from your perspective only, conflicts increase. So it's important for people to understand their money story. How does it affect them to date? And how do you see that there's nothing wrong with my spouse who cannot understand why we can't take a holiday? Them, they are telling me about school fees that's supposed to be paid in 3 years. 3 years, Christ might have come back. So the thing is, how do you balance that out?
Yes.
To see things from the other person's perspective.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ken. We appreciate you for coming to the show, and we appreciate, on behalf of the viewer, we've really learned a lot, and we also appreciate you, our viewer, for joining in. Again, remember to take notes, share these with your friend as a video. Remember to drop a question at the comment section, like the video, and recommend it to many of your friends and families who you want to benefit from this. Until we see you in the next show, stay blessed.